Have you ever wanted to learn the basics of tarot? Hey, this is part one. Let's get going. Hello, my friends. Hi, it's me, Dee Sparta. Welcome to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Wow. I am good. I had a lot of fun preparing this video, and it's going to be, I think it's 3 or 4 parts. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Part one, this is the very basics and intro into tarot and how to read tarot. And I really hope this, I had a lot of people asking me about this, and it should help you understand the cards when you see them dropping. Now keep in mind that a lot of tarot reading has to do with your intuition. And intuitively, keep in mind, you don't need to memorize what the cards mean, okay? You don't. And you'll know that also as you work with one deck. I always say, starting with the Rider-Waite deck, which is this deck here. It's all holographic, but this deck is a really good place to start. There are modern versions of this deck, and there are other decks that have the images in the deck really set the mood for the deck, the tone, and it gives you the context of the story. And we're going to get into the story as we get into the major arcana, but today we are going to hit some really basics. We'll not do the major arcana today, but it is something we will get into. And I'm not quite getting into the minor, but we're going to get into just the bare bones and how, and how astrology also ties into it. So we're going to get into just the very flat basics of tarot and the cards. And then I'll also get into a bit of the some basic astrology for you to understand the cards a little better. And then, I'll get into the major arcana, and then we'll get into a full thing of the minor arcana. And I suggest one of the things, if you want to do this, get a notebook. For me, I have used this book. Yeah, I decorated it. And inside, I take a lot of notes in here, And, I use this to, sometimes I'll write down my thoughts, my feelings about things going on, symbols for tarot, something, because the cards have symbols on them. And we're going to get into all that too at some point in the series. But keep this, take notes. If you are part of my Patreon, you will have access to the slides and to some other special worksheets that I have developed that help me to be able to organize this to teach. This is taken months, to be honest, this journey. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get into this with y'all. So if you're ready, you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, we gotta get into this now, huh? Okay, folks, welcome back. Let's get into Tarot 101, the basics to understanding tarot. This is part one. This is the elements, numbers, and the royal court. We're gonna why you're probably going, what? But that's where we're starting, okay? We're gonna start out with these very basics, because I figure I really firmly believe that if you can understand these basics, it's gonna open the doors. You're gonna understand astrology and tarot so much. So let's get into the basics. History, I could do a video on history another time. It's very complicated because there's so many different people say one thing or another, and during the Victorian ages is when tarot really became popular in Europe. So we'll just get into that, So, but let's get into what is tarot. The tarot is a deck of 78 cards used for divination and self-discovery. Each card has a unique meaning and can be interpreted in a variety of ways. Tarot readings can provide insight into the past, present, and future events. Okay. Yes, and I'm going to say they can provide, and I really want to enforce this whole they can, okay? Because it's not something that is predestined, it's set in stone, it's not anything like that, and we'll get into a little bit of that. What I'm going to put up a caution, and some people will probably be shocked because I'm telling you to use tarot with caution. Tarot cards can reveal what could happen in the future. Could happen. We have free will and can make choices to change the future outcome. Do not rely on tarot. I'm going to repeat this again. Some of y'all, listen. I am saying this. Do not rely on tarot, horoscopes, or other divination tools, or psychics such as myself to make decisions for your life. You see, you need to learn to trust yourself and make decisions. You and your free will can choose your own destiny. Keep that in mind. This is giving insight. These tools are here to give insight so you have a better understanding of what could be outcomes, what has affected you in the past, so you can make your own decisions. Okay? So, all right, with that in mind, let's get into the elements. All right, elements are so important in, everything when it comes to not just divination, but also to it when it comes into astrology. It comes into just all about life and understanding what these four elements mean. Fire is represented in the tarot deck by wands. It's a I do action. Fire is I do. It's active. It's an action. I think a lot of people don't realize that that's what it is. Things that you can kind of, if you look at fire elements, things that you'll see, it's inspiration. It's where we get a lot of inspiration. It's a masculine energy. The fire signs that you could be used to know are Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. There's colors also that can tie into this energy. So if you see these colors, you kind of go, oh, this could be representing this fire. It's oranges and reds. This is passion, it's creativity, it's life-changing. It's I do. I will repeat, I do is so important when you think of these cards, what they mean. Now, we also have water, and water is represented by a cup, the cups. And the energy from water is I feel. It's all that I feel. This is our feelings, our emotions. This is a feminine energy. This is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The colors are blues and purples. It's the heart. It's the matters of the heart. It's compassion. It's love. It's intuition. It's family. It's relationships. That's the kind of energy, that's what water represents. Now, the next is earth. And earth is represented by coins, pentacles. It's the I am energy. It's I am. This is who I am. Which is different from the I do and I feel. I'm seeing you're probably catching on to this a little bit more. I hope. Earth, it's practical. It is a feminine energy. The zodiac signs are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The colors are green and brown, the colors of the earth. Yes, it's represented by pentacles, also known as coins. It is also it's money, wealth, home, physical, material items. It's our health. It's practical matters. It's being grounded. It's solid. It's stability. That's the energy that you get from Earth and that suit of pentacles. Okay, now air, and air is represented by swords, and that energy is I think. And so it is rules over the intellect. It is a masculine energy. It is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, zodiac signs. The colors of air is white and yellow. This is about thought. This is the powers of the mind, honesty, communication, clarity, logic, discernment, reason, integrity. That is what air represents. So we got those, understanding those elements are so important. So you kind of now, that's when I say, oh, this represents fire, this represents water. You understand it's an I do, I feel, I am, I think. Okay. Now, the next we're going to get into is not the elements, but we're going to get into numbers. Yes, you heard me right. We're getting into the numbers. Now, numbers represent several things. And so sometimes knowing a little bit of numerology and numbers will help you get insight into deeper meanings of what the different cards mean. Okay? And I'll explain how we can figure this out. Okay? So, 0, that is, yes, the cards actually start out with, the major arcana starts out with 0. And this is beginnings. It's purity, it's innocence, it can be naivety, it's this youthful, young energy, and it's risk-taking. Then we go into 1s, and 1s represents creativity, creating things, manifesting, attraction. It also can represent a fresh start. Okay, now we go into 2, and 2 is balance, it's unity, it's polarity, like the scales that you see in a Libra. It's choices, it's decisions. And then we have 3. 3s represent abundance, and it's fertility, it's expansion, it's networking, connections, it's creating with others, it's working together. It's like a teamwork kind of thing. 4 is structure, which is stability, sturdiness, security. It's like that foundation. And, you know, like in some of the cards, like the 4 of Wands, people would say, oh, that means a union, a marriage. It's a foundation, the beginning of something. We'll get into that more and more. 5 is shocking. It's a challenge. It represents sometimes conflict, instability. It can be crisis. You're like, yeah, well, that doesn't sound great. No, it doesn't sound great now, does it, folks? But let's get into the rest of the numbers, okay? Now, this last 5 here, we're going to start with number 6. And what 6 here. I speak English sometimes. I promise. Sometimes I just speak Scooby. Communication is 6. And this is harmony. It's mutual aid. It's community. It is the people. It's around. It's those around you. It's got a lot of that air energy when it comes to like the communication part. Now, sevens are like, ugh, it's stagnation, it's introspection, it is reflection, it's taking an assessment of things around you. It's like, oh, sometimes it's good to stop or slow down. Then we get into eight, and eight's the opposite, folks. Eight is that stability, it's protection, it's sturdy, but it's speed and power. Things coming in fast, especially if it's like in wand energy, fire energy. That's like charging in. Nine is expansion, growth, independence, solitude. Also, once again, it's being able to, you're growing and learning more and expanding out there, but you're independent. On 10 is the completion. It's the ending of a cycle. It's a revival. It can be the end so that the new can begin. So, okay, so we got the numbers down. That is so fucking refreshing. Okay, now we're going to get into the court cards. My wife is laughing at me. That happens. And I love her for it. The court cards. So there are 4 court cards. Now the image I'm showing is of the wands because it just seemed, it was the one that I found easy to put together for y'all. So we'll get into this now. We have Page, which is earth energy. Okay, I want you, so you're like, but what if it's the Page of Wands? So you have the I am with the I do energy. That's where it comes, you mix, that's where you start seeing more and more in depth of how each card can mean something so different. So Page, it's that earth energy. It is student. It is young. It is fresh. It's like the starting, and sometimes there's an innocence. Then we have Knight, okay? And the Knight, that is fire, of course. You see, like in the picture, it's the horse. He's riding. They're usually riding on a horse or something because it's this action I do. And with fire, it's intense. It's impulsive, but even without the fire, it is intense and impulsive. But you put, because it is fire, but if you put the wands, it's like double whammy here, When you put that with some of the other elements, you'll see how they mix. And we'll get into that later. Queens are water, the I thinkers. It is this nurturing, it's supportive, it's compassionate. And then we have the King, and that is, I think, that is air energy. That's mature. It's a leader. It's someone who's more focused on the external of what's going around it instead of this emotions that the Queen, the water, represents. So, folks, this is just a brief intro into tarot. I hope you have liked it. And like I said, these slides and other worksheets and such will be available to anybody on my Patreon. Right now, the basic prices are like $3 with all access to 10. Honestly, I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to charge, but I'll figure something out. It might just be $3 unless you do all access, which is just $10. I am be working on those tiers real soon. And yeah, I hope you had fun with this video. I enjoyed being able just to share these little tidbits. The next video will be focusing more on the basics of astrology. And remember, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I love you. Oh, and subscribe to my channel and hit the likes button. Comment down below your thoughts on this basics, the very basics here. And if you want to see the rest of this series or not, it really helped me to know, if I all this hard work I'm putting in, so I can keep doing it. I love you guys. Bye.